Hey there, it's Lily. It's been a really long time since I gave an update on my tinnitus or tinnitus. I'm gonna say tinnitus during this video because I've just been hearing it said that way more often lately. I hope you're doing well, and if not, if you're struggling, well, stick around until the end of the video. I'm gonna talk about how it's going, but also give some general tips for tinnitus and also some less obvious tips that I've come across or things that are helpful. So stick around for that. First of all, I want to say that I have so much empathy for all of you. I know that we don't all suffer in the same way. Some of us have a much more severe case of tinnitus, or we all have, differing types of tinnitus, like different frequencies. Some people it's rumbling, some people it's a very high pitched sound. That's the one I had or still have. And I just have a lot of empathy for you and what you're going through. So, I'm with you. You're not alone. There's millions of sufferers out there, and we're all just trying to get through the day, manage our stress, manage this symptom, which is an ongoing part of our existence at the moment. Just really grateful as well to have been able to get so many people, so many views on my first video, and hopefully my story was inspirational in some way, was inspiring and gave you some hope that even though in the moment it can seem like it'll never end and it's just going to stay the same forever, that there can be an evolution and progress, and the body is capable of healing. The thing is that sometimes we just don't know how long that'll take. It can take months to years, and it's all about attitude and faith in your own body and your capacity to heal. That's going to make a big difference, not only in the healing itself, but just in being able to manage and be less stressed and just trusting the process. I think that's really what is the main theme here. I was taking a break from the studio because I was working on a track, and it actually made me think of making this video that I've been wanting to make for a while. There are like little things like this that I've incorporated into my life that I'm very careful with, like taking more breaks when I'm making music, but I'll get into that. Basically now I don't experience any pain. There's no emotional stress or grief because I only hear it when I wake up in the morning or when I put my head against the pillow at night. That's when I do notice it, and it's in my left ear. It's between 8 and 10 kilohertz. It's definitely not gone. It didn't just disappear. So for those who didn't watch my first video, I had a trauma during COVID. It was really, really atrocious. Like I couldn't sleep without putting very loud background music to mask the tinnitus, the ringing. And this ringing was constant, and it would also kind of scratch, like whenever I was listening to the radio or something in those high frequencies. And I'm still sensitive to high frequencies, by the way. I don't like, rock guitars like that are kind of really high in the medium and high range. It took roughly 6 months for it to calm down, but for 6 months I was terrified because I'm a musician, I'm a sound designer, I work in music tech, and the thought of having one of my ears permanently damaged is like, it's horrible. It's like breaking your fingers if you're a pianist, I had done like those hearing tests, and my left ear, where I had the trauma, was the ear of a 75-year-old versus the ear of a 30-year-old on this side. Instead of freaking out, because I did, of course, freak out for a while, for a few weeks, but I eventually decided to surrender to the, this is my reality right now. And I'm going to do everything in my power to be gentle, to, nourish my body. I had stopped drinking alcohol, so that was already very helpful, I'm sure. I didn't stop caffeine, but I just trusted the process. I tried to not expose myself to loud music or loud environments, and just stayed calm, practiced yoga, and eventually it did calm down. Today, the current situation, so now it's been 5 years since this trauma. The ringing is still there. It's kind of weird. It's like at the same time, since I can hear that ringing all the time, I can't really hear in that frequency range, but at the same time, I'm very sensitive in that zone, 7 to 10K. I'm quite sensitive in my left ear. So I feel like, what is it called? In French, it's 𝘂𝗵𝗿, hyperacusis, which is what I have now in the left ear. I do feel like sometimes pressure here when I'm hearing high frequencies. I don't feel anything in my right ear, but in my left ear where I had the trauma, it's like sensitive. So where I'm at today is that in my day-to-day, I do not notice it at all. It's just when I lay down at night in complete silence, you know, in my room, I can't hear the sounds of, you know, any cars or anything outside. It's very calm in my residence. And it's when I lay down, I put my head against the pillow, so my ear is muffled against the pillow. There, I hear that ringing very, very clearly. And I'm like, you know, it's still there. Sometimes I'm like kind of annoyed, like, I wish it wasn't there. I do have quite an addiction to YouTube, and I love all the soundscapes that are on YouTube. You know, you can find those 10-hour meditation, relaxing channels. And the one I like the most is SleepTube. I'm not, you know, obviously I'm not sponsored by anyone or anything, but I really recommend SleepTube. It's great because there's like this circle as well. There's really beautiful visuals, and it helps you to breathe, like a breathing cycle at the same time. And the videos are like 8 to 10 hours. And I do leave that in the background when I'm sleeping. So does it mask my tinnitus? Not really, because the frequencies are quite low. But it does help calm me down, and it's true that I'm just not used to sleeping without any noise, without any background sound. When I did have my tinnitus pretty badly, I was not listening to this very soothing music because the ringing was so loud that I had to mask it with something more aggressive, you know, like white noise, kind of staticky sounds. Washing machine sounds are great as well. Side note, they're great for if you sleep with someone who snores. Like that's not my case anymore, but if you sleep with a snoring partner or someone in your room who snores, those rumbling washing machine or hairdryer sounds work really well to mask that. But yeah, also like nature sounds of cicadas and rain, you know, heavy rain, storms, like whatever I could do to mask out the tinnitus. So that was helpful. But nowadays it's very faint. I can only hear it at night when I put my head against the pillow. So I'm very grateful. It still exists. That's all I'm saying. I have accepted the fact that I will probably have this the rest of my life, this ringing, but I am able to live with it now, and it's just so far in the background that I just notice it when it's complete silence. So that's my current situation. And yeah, so let's go into some general tips, the best tips I have for managing tinnitus, for helping to relieve or reduce the symptom. Maybe also some less obvious little tips I have. First one is, like I said, sound therapy, sound masking. If you go on YouTube, there are these videos, there's like a sweep that will go through, you know, 20 to 20 kHz. This is good if like you don't know yet what your frequency is, you know, where you're getting the ringing or whatever. So it can be helpful to figure that out. And you just listen with headphones, and in the sweep, you're gonna notice one part where, you're gonna feel so relieved. You've found that sweet spot where you're actually playing the frequency that is ringing inside your ear. So it's gonna mask it, and it's gonna, like a huge sense of relief is gonna wash over you. And that's how you know that you've found your frequency. So do that a few times and find your frequency. And then there's websites and also just on YouTube, a lot of soundscapes and different types of videos with ongoing music or static or noise. A lot of the times it'll say like, this is for this range, this frequency range, you know, this is for this frequency range. And then just try them out for yourself, because you'll be able to tell right away if it's relief or not. Also, if you're interested in specialized tinnitus soundscapes or a mix of different sounds for different frequencies, let me know. I also make my own soundscapes. If you would like me to upload different soundscapes for different frequency of tinnitus, let me know in the comments. Another thing that is very beneficial, it's been proven, is activating the parasympathetic nervous system. So anything like deep breathing, walking in nature, meditation. So I know meditation is hard for a lot of people. Maybe you live in an environment where it's hard to get, you know, 10 minutes to yourself in total silence. But you can do deep breathing anywhere. You can do that, you know, in the middle of chaos. So I also can upload some videos on that. If you're interested, let me know in the comments. I'm just trying to see like what people would be interested in. But basically activating the parasympathetic, which is the other nervous system. The sympathetic is the one for fight or flight. The parasympathetic is rest and digest. And when we do breathing exercises like inhaling for 3, exhaling for 5, and deep belly breathing, visualization with deep breathing, this kind of stuff, it's going to help bring our, our blood pressure down, our heart rate down, and for the inflammation as well in various parts of the body, including the inner ear. So that can be very helpful. Try doing 10 to 20 minutes of deep breathing every day and see how your tinnitus responds to that. Diet and lifestyle is a big one. If you can, quit alcohol completely. If you drink, that's going to help so much. Have you ever noticed when you're hungover the next day, even mixed with the fatigue as well, the exhaustion, your ears can just be ringing. Of course, that's also exacerbated by going to a loud concert or a club where people tend to drink as well. These things go hand in hand. So avoiding caffeine, I know that I don't do that. Coffee is life for me, but I don't drink alcohol, and I know that this has helped a lot. Also avoiding processed foods, avoiding aspartame. I noticed that when I was drinking, I had this bad habit a couple years ago where I was drinking a Coke Zero, 1 a day, and thinking well, I don't think this is going to have a big impact on me or my health. But I did notice the ringing was actually getting louder, and I could hear it when I was just outside walking, which today I can't hear at all. So I quit aspartame, I cut out all processed food, cut out processed junk, cut out alcohol, and try to reduce caffeine if you can. If you can remove it, sure. But reducing caffeine can help since it's a stimulant, and any kind of stimulant is gonna make your tinnitus more noticeable. Going to loud clubs, concerts, environments like this, if you have to, if you work in sound, if you're sound tech, I don't know if you work just in this kind of nightlife, this kind of environment, then you can invest in very good ear protection. So good earplugs. They make custom ones that are molded for your ear. Highly recommended. They cost about 150 euros, I think. I don't have any like that. I have these earplugs I bought from a guitar shop. They were 20 euros. They're very helpful for going in festivals, and sometimes you just want a break. And if you're a music maker like me, if you work in the studio, sometimes if you have headphones on for work, just take breaks and don't blast it, because the thing is, our ears, the perception, of loudness is logarithmic. So over time, we're gonna get used to a certain loudness, and then we're just gonna feel like we can bump it up, and we're gonna keep bumping it up. And that's the problem. It's when we'll start our listening session or our day, volume may be quite soft because, we're just getting the ears used to this pressure. And then over the course of the next few hours, we'll just keep increasing. You'll notice this. So just being mindful of that, taking a lot of breaks, and trying to switch between different sources like speakers and then headphones, and taking a break every half an hour can be very beneficial for your ears. I guess these are the main well-known tips. I didn't even mention getting enough sleep because it's a no-brainer, but do not underestimate this. I used to not care about my sleep. I used to drink a lot. Drinking is absolutely devastating for your sleep quality. So not only was I not sleeping enough in hours, but my sleep was disrupted and not restful, and my ears were ringing all the time. And now I always make sure to get around 7 hours. For the weekend, I like to sleep sometimes 8 to 9 hours. And it makes such a big difference just in general, not just for tinnitus, but your overall mental health. When I don't get a good night's sleep, I feel depressed. It's hard in that moment to separate, my thoughts and thinking okay, something's wrong with me, but realizing that it's because the night before I didn't get enough sleep. It's very important to just take care of that, make it a priority, make it a priority over other things. Now for a couple of little tips that are maybe a bit less well known. One is Gingko Biloba. I think maybe I did mention this in a previous video, but Gingko Biloba helps to dilate the blood vessels. So if you take this as a regular supplement, if you have inflammation in your inner ear and pressure, it can help to kind of open things up. So it can actually reduce the ringing, the intensity of the ringing. Let me know in the comments if any of you have tried Gingko Biloba for tinnitus and if it's helped you. And finally, I don't have my phone right now. What can I use? Finally, one thing that an ear doctor showed me, those who specialize in equipment for ears, for protection, and also for people who have lost their hearing, showed me an important tip that I use now in my daily life. This can make a very big difference if you're someone who's on the phone all the time. If you're getting a lot of phone calls, it can actually have a significant impact on hearing loss and also the intensity of your ringing in your ears. So instead of picking up the phone like this, the speaker going directly into the eardrum, just place it here. Just place it on the cheekbone, on the bone, and you're gonna hear just fine. You're gonna hear your phone call just fine. The pressure of the sound waves are not going directly into your eardrum and going right here, and it's gonna damage your ears way less. So that's another little pro tip. And so yeah, this was my update on how it's going and some main tips again that I just wanted to list in case you've never seen my first tinnitus video. I do recommend you go check it out. It's like the story of how I got mine and how I got better. I will link it right here. And until next time, I would really like to hear about how you're doing in the comments. It's great to have this community of people. We all suffer from the same thing. We all have this condition and we're all just trying to get through it and help each other out. So I will see you in the next video. Take care until then.